Alright everyone, welcome back to another video game pickup video. Over the last few weeks I've gotten some miscellaneous odds and ends, 2 new releases and a few retro things, as well as miscellaneous video game related media. And at the end of the video, I'll go over my thoughts on Assassin's Creed Mirage, which I finished finally yesterday. It took me 35 hours or so to complete all the missions and find all the all the hidden, things that there are to see in every city. So we'll talk more about that at the end, but first things first, let's go over some pickups over the last month or so. First thing, this was a device given to me, handed to me. It is for the Game Boy Color or Game Boy Pocket, black and white Game Boy. And it apparently works also for the Game Boy Advance. It is called a Worm Light. And it's a revolutionary patented white light source of yellow light source. No batteries required, compact adjustable design, lifetime light sources, never needs replacement, ideal for play in low light and travel conditions, compatible for all Game Boy series. So the English is a bit rough. This, as you can see, was, I don't know if that's Taiwan or China or what this is, but that's where it was made. As you can see on the back, Game Boy Advance. So this is just a little odds and ends type of thing that, if I ever open or take my Game Boy systems out, I'll use. This will probably keep sealed though. So I got that. Next up was something that I didn't know existed. It's a Tiger Electronics Harry Potter gadget, if you will. It is a motion-activated broom from the Harry Potter series. And this is not on the list of Tiger games that I know exist, so I didn't know if it was a, European-only release or a different country. But no, right here in the States. So this is what this is. And on the back it says, your motion-activated broom is equipped with a powerful electric cell that will light up thousands and thousands of times. How to use? Number 1, on the bottom of the clip-on is a switch. Turn the switch clockwise to turn it on. You may need to use the edge of a coin to turn the switch. This activates the clip-on to the light whenever it is jiggled. 2, to turn off the light, turn the switch on the bottom counterclockwise, and then there's a caution message. A non-replaceable electric cell is used in this product. Do not disassemble this product to prevent children from swallowing the electric cell. Do not allow children below the age of 3 to hold this product in order to prevent them from swallowing it. Throw away the transparent plastic material after you open the package. It is just packing material and is not part of the clip-on. And then the warranty for defect or damage and 30-day limited warranty information. Call 1-800-844-3733. Now, this was made, at least copyrighted, in 2001. So this is 22 years old when this came out. 22 years ago. So, yep, have that to the Harry Potter collection. Next, we have a movie that just came out, DVD, part of the Mortal Kombat Legends series that I recently saw, and it was bad. I'm not really a fan of these Mortal Kombat Legends movies that Midway has come out with, or not Midway anymore, but Warner Brothers. But it's called Cage Match. This is the Blu-ray and digital code for digital viewing. DVDs, I think, are a thing of the past now. I know DVDs have been a thing of the past for a while, but they still came out with DVDs, just like in the back in the day when DVD was the new thing. They still had VHS cassettes that were made as well. And I've tried to collect as many DVDs as I can, but I think recently, and I'm not a big movie guy as far as buying them, but I think recently DVDs are now donezo, and it's just Blu-ray or 4K. So in this one, it's sort of like a parody of 80s, comedy action TV shows, like a Miami Vice, if you will. So, there's no match like a cage match. Neon lights, suits with shoulder pads, jumping from explosions in slow motion. In 1980s Hollywood, action star Johnny Cage, who's played by Joel McHale, is looking to become an A-list actor. But when his co-star Jennifer, who's played by Jennifer Grey, goes missing from set, Johnny finds himself thrust into a world filled with shadows, danger, and deceit. As he embarks on a bloody journey, Johnny quickly discovers the City of Angels has more than a few devils in its midst. He faces off against a sinister secret society, plotting a nefarious scheme. But the brutal fight against the bloodthirsty warriors of the Netherrealm is just beginning. Can Johnny, alongside other combat legends, save humanity? And more importantly, his career. So special features commentary by producers Rick Morales and Jim Krieg and writer Jeremy Adams. What Would Johnny Cage Do? Ninja Mime trailer. So the animation in this is sort of like the 80s cartoon animation that we grew up on. There were a couple of characters drawn to look almost like you would see in a Ghostbusters cartoon, or really any 80s cartoon for that matter. As far as Mortal Kombat characters in this movie, there's Cage, there's the Sisterhood of Brotherhood of Shadow, which Serena's part of, I forget the other one, and then Ashra, Shinnok is part of this, and then there's a cameo by Draman. You can see Draman actually right here in this. I don't know if you can see, but that's Draman. But again, on Raiden, there's a little 4-second clip of Raiden in here. The thing about these movies is they don't make any sense. It's almost like you're in a different reality. And now with the release of MK1, and knowing that theoretically there are millions of multiverses out there, I guess all of these can potentially exist, because you can just say, okay, well, this is a multiverse of the Mortal Kombat that we all know. But it's stupid. If this was released without the multiverse theory, it would make no sense, because Johnny Cage was recruited, right, by Raiden. He didn't know any of this existed. He didn't believe Raiden existed back in the day, remember? Like, he didn't even know it existed, Raiden. So, he couldn't believe he was a thunder god. Of all the ones that have been released, Scorpion's Revenge by far is the best, and then they're all pretty bad. They're pretty bad. But anyway, that release, so we have that for the Mortal Kombat collection. The next game, I don't know if I showed in the last video. I forget. I might have. Yes, I think I did. I'll just show it briefly. I'm not going to read the back, but Lies of P from NeoWiz. This is the next game that I will be playing now that I've finished Assassin's Creed Mirage. In between, though, finally the MLB season is over, so I'll be playing the career mode in MLB The Show. And then once that is over, I will be playing this game just to see what it's all about. Bought this a while ago. Have not played it yet. I was waiting for the actual real MLB season to be over, but I'll check this out, the EA Sports Super Mega Baseball 4. I'll be checking that out as soon as I'm done with the MLB The Show career mode. Now for a brand new release. This just released, I think, a few weeks ago, October 17th. We have Sonic Superstars, the next Sonic the Hedgehog game, and we have the game for all three systems. We have the PS4, we have the PS5, and we have the Nintendo Switch versions. And I believe they're the same thing. Let me just look at the back. Yeah, so I'll just read the PS4 or PS5 version here. Okay. So Sonic Superstars from Sega. Super fast, super fun, superstars. Journey to the mystical North Star Islands in this all-new take on classic 2D Sonic high-speed action platforming. Play as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, and harness all-new Emerald powers to stop Dr. Eggman, Fang, and mysterious new adversary, Trip, from converting the island's giant animals into badniks before it's too late. Choose your favorite character, play with or against your friends, master new powers and abilities. So that is the Sonic game that just released. And then the last pickup before I get to Assassin's Creed Mirage is one of the few original Game Boy games that I am missing from my collection, personal collection. One of two Jeopardy games, and I was able to find this miraculously on eBay for a pretty good price too, $40 or $50. And you can find, when you find this game, as ridiculous as this may sound, this could go for $300 easily, because it's very uncommon to find somebody selling their copy. But of all the games to fetch a high price, we have Jeopardy Platinum Edition from GameTech for the original Game Boy. So there were 4 Jeopardy games for the Game Boy. There was Original Jeopardy, there was Jeopardy Sports Edition, there was Jeopardy Platinum Edition, which is this, and then Jeopardy Teen Tournament Edition, which is the last one I need to complete my Game Boy Jeopardy collection, so at least in the US. Here's the answer. Here's the answer. What's the question? Jeopardy. Everybody loves Jeopardy, America's favorite answer and question game. GameTech has crammed over 1,500 new answers and questions into this game pack, taken directly from the archives of the show. Compete against a friend, match wits with the computer, or test your memory alone for fun. It's every bit like the fast-paced TV show, Daily Doubles, Final Jeopardy, and the actual theme music to make you feel like you're really there. Gameplay on the Super NES using the Super Game Boy adapter, both sold separately. So it shows the black and white gameplay on the Game Boy compact video game system, and then surprisingly, there's a lot of color for the Super Game Boy. Usually when you put a Game Boy game in the Super Game Boy, it gave a little bit of color, but not like that. That's interesting to see. So those are the pickups recently. I really hope I'm not missing anything, but I don't think I am. And then lastly, we're going to talk now about Assassin's Creed Mirage and my thoughts on the game. The game was okay. So here's the collector's edition. I don't know if you guys can see this, but we'll do the best we can. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to. There we go. Okay. Better than nothing here. Assassin's Creed Mirage collector's case. So, again, this game was supposed to be originally a DLC for Valhalla. And if you've followed the recent videos I did on the making of Assassin's Creed, that collector's book that came out recently, when I read the chapter on Mirage, what I did not know was Eivor was actually supposed to be the protagonist of the game. It was supposed to take place in Constantinople, but as Eivor. And then they changed it to Basim. The story was actually not bad. The story was okay. A lot of mindless stuff again. It shows you how Basim, goes from a street thief to a master assassin. And it ends right, and here's a spoiler alert for you guys who haven't played the game yet, so you don't get spoiled. I'm throwing it out now, spoiler alert, but it ends right at the point where Loki officially takes over. And Basim's Basim, but Loki's inside, really controlling things. And so it's obviously before. Did I say Constantinople? Is that what I said? I meant to say Baghdad. I apologize. That's where Mirage takes place. Baghdad, not Constantinople. Constantinople. I just said that because I just finished a novel about Basim after the events of Mirage called Assassin's Creed: The Golden City, which came out a few months ago. I think it actually came out before Mirage even came out. So because it took place after Mirage's events, I wanted to play the game first, then read the book. Normally I would read the book as soon as it comes out. But I think that book came out September or October, early October. Or maybe even August, I forget which. But having said all this, so the game is supposed to take place it's supposed to be Eivor in Baghdad and ended up being Basim, and it ends as soon as Loki takes over. The fighting again is reminiscent of the first Assassin's Creed, second Assassin's Creed games, but it's a lot more fluid. It's not as archaic as those games were. So they still have the same fighting mechanics, but it's a lot more fluid than the first couple games. So that was okay. They had this new mode called a focus meter, where you could highlight certain enemies and then automatically Basim would literally assassinate up to 5 guys at once. I very rarely use that meter. I think I used it twice the whole game, and it was towards the end of the game only because I had to pick up basically some fetch quests to move the story along. And I was lazy and didn't want to fight a whole bunch of people, so I used it, but very rarely did I. I think twice, and that was it. Yes, you have your smoke bombs, and yes, you have your blow darts. I used a couple blow darts, smoke bombs and traps and noisemakers. I didn't use it all to complete the game. I think my stealth got a lot better than it ever was. I still don't have the patience to run or to stealthily kill people, but I did pretty good in this game as far as that goes. There's one giant gripe. There's a couple, but there's one giant gripe that I hate about this game, and it's the mandated to open certain chests and to complete certain quests. The easier way is these tokens. There are 3 types of Kidma, I think they're called Kidma tokens or something, where you get either by pickpocketing people on the streets or some mission people will hand them to you. I just found it stupid. I found it unnecessary. You know, there's a few chests in that game that didn't count towards completion, but just random chests that have materials inside where if you don't have those tokens, you can't open the chests. I found that stupid. And almost a forced way for you to pickpocket 1 million people just to get the tokens you need, because you can't buy them. Interestingly enough, I don't have enough, or I was not given enough I forget what it's exactly called, but the character points, where you can, skill points if you will, where you can upgrade Basim in different, or Echidnu the eagle, or however. I think I'm short. I have 2 left over, and I'm missing 7 to complete the skill tree, which I also found interesting because I've done everything in the game, and there is no way, visually at least that I saw, that you can tell how close you are to gaining another skill point. Like in Valhalla, at the top right, well, I take that back. I take that back because I streamed the game, and in the top right corner was where my head was. So I could see myself, people could see my reaction to the game as I was playing it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Valhalla had the same issue where if I moved that screen around, then it opened up where in the top right hand corner there was a meter that was slowly filling. And I might pop the game in again just to see if I move that screen or don't have it on at all. Is there an actual meter? Because I can't say for sure. If there is, then there is a visual aid to tell me how close I am to gaining another skill point just with actions in the game. But having said that, I'm still 7 away, so I would have to do a lot of unnecessary fighting, just random fights just to do that, or maybe pickpockets or whatever, because everything else in the game is completed. I don't like the fact that, I don't know why they did this. You had to retrieve 6 lost books for this guy at the House of Wisdom. Doing so completes, you get a trophy, but the mission does not go away and is not closed from your interrogation board. And I had to Google, as I was trying to find an 8th enemy for the codex that I had not yet encountered. In my travels on the internet, I found that there was a 7th lost book in a random place out in the marshlands, if you will, where unless you saw and paid attention to the fact that there was a explosive thing on the floor that you could explode, never in a million years would have seen it. So it's odd. And then when you finally find that last book, you finally get that case closed on your interrogation menu. For the most part, I've recovered all the clues needed to fill up every missing clue for every mission I did. But there are a few, especially Nihal's mission to find the shards that you can open up in the middle of the desert to get some hidden chests and hidden gear from the ones that came before. For some reason, I don't know where else those clues could have been, because the one thing I don't like about the game, from a completionist standpoint, is the fact that there are certain clues that I didn't get that you can't go back and complete because the mission's already over. And it doesn't really affect, I don't think, completions. It might. It didn't affect the story, and it didn't affect the gameplay any, but I hate that fact. I want, when I complete an Assassin's Creed game, I want it completed 100%. So if anybody were to come over and say, you didn't complete this game, that's a lie, I could say, yes, I did, and show them. So I'll never be able to do that unless I start another game, which I'm not going to do. Now, at the Animus store, another interesting thing, to upgrade your gear, to upgrade your tools, if you will, from your tool belt, you need a lot of a certain element called component. There's steel ingots, there's leather, but components are the scarcest of all those materials needed to upgrade your entire tools. You can buy the components from people who are selling them in the stores. But the problem is you need a ton of silver, a ton of money to buy what you need. I did the math. I think I needed 9,000 silver or 9,000 money to do it. And there's no way, unless you spent 20 hours pickpocketing everybody in the game, would you ever get that much. So, usually in Assassin's Creed games, from a standpoint of a microtransaction, you can go to the Animus store and you can buy enough money to do what you need. Interestingly, this game does not have that option, at least not yet, which is strange. You can buy, they have a couple of different gear sets you can buy, which I did. But that's it. There's no money pouches, there's no anything, which I found very odd. And the only thing I can think of is maybe, and I haven't done any of these, this is one thing I did not do, is there are side missions you can do from an Assassin's Bureau where you can take an Assassin's contract, and if you complete it, you'll get whatever. Maybe you get a lot of money from doing those, but when I took a look at all of them, a lot of them, you need a lot of stealth. You can't be alerted or you fail the mission. You can't take one piece of damage or you fail the mission. And I said to myself, I don't have the patience for that stuff. I wish there were other ways to collect the money needed to upgrade everything to the max, at least from a tool belt perspective. Because I've upgraded my knives and I've upgraded my blow darts, but I haven't even attempted to upgrade the noisemakers or traps. I think I've upgraded the smoke bombs to tier 1, but I did not upgrade the rest because I don't have enough components and I don't have enough money to buy them. It makes no, I mean, they're 20 coins a component. So for every, or 5 coins I think a component. So for every 20 components you buy, you spend 100 of your money, and I think I have like 600 money left. You're constantly buying knives from stores and health upgrades from stores, vials of elixirs, I think they're called, to replenish your health. I spent a lot of money. I spent probably 85% of my money on that to continue throughout the game. But all in all, you know, it is what it is. It doesn't further really anything at all. It's a prequel to Valhalla. It's really a prequel to everything except Origins and Odyssey. Origins and Odyssey come before everything, and then I would say Mirage comes first, then Valhalla. And then I'd say the first Assassin's Creed, from a timeline perspective, kicks in. But I would rate the game probably a 7 out of 10, you know, for what it is. I don't know what else I'd be. There was just minor things, you know. If they had enough money for you to find in the worlds, if they had gotten rid of that whole Kidma token thing, which made no sense to me, I think it was unnecessary. If they had enough missions to upgrade skill points, and like I said, there might be skill points associated with those assassin contracts. So I guess what I'm saying is, from a personal standpoint, if that would be the only fastest way to upgrade Basim to all his tiers on the skill map, personally I'm not a fan of those missions. They seem extremely difficult for someone with either my non-patience or lack of skill. But all in all, it was an okay game. If you're a huge Assassin's Creed fan like I am, buy it, play it. It gives some backstory to how Basim created goes from who he was to who he is at the end of Valhalla, and then throughout Valhalla, obviously. The other cool thing, separate from Mirage, is the book I read. So if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, check out the book. I have all the novels by everybody. But this one was a mission where Hytham and Basim team up in Constantinople to protect a ruler's son from being assassinated by him, because he believes he's not the real father of him. He believes his wife, before he married her, was pregnant by this other guy. So, and then the Order of the Ancients are there. But it's a cool thing on how Hytham and Basim's relationship evolved, because remember, in Valhalla, Hytham swears by Basim, trusts him explicitly, but how does Hytham get to that point? well, if you read this novel, it kind of fills that in, which is a cool thing. Other than that, guys, Assassin's Creed Nexus comes out for the MetaQuest. I'll be downloading that. From what I've read, some IGN guy a month ago or so had a hands-on demo. He said he really liked it. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out in virtual reality. So I'll be looking forward to that. I know Kingdom Hearts mobile game, The Missing Link, is in beta testing now in like Australia and Japan. I don't know why there's no US beta testers, but usually it comes out in Japan first in the world and then eventually comes to us here in the States. So that's that. And stay tuned for the next video. Will be a munch pack from October. And obviously I've been plowing through Assassin's Creed Mirage to put the munch pack on the back burner until I finished so I could read the Assassin's Creed book, do this pickup video, and now I can finally do October's munch pack. So thanks for watching, guys. Any comments in the comment section about if you played Mirage, what you think of it, I'd love to read them. Other than that, stay tuned for the next video, guys. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.